goes down low. The 79 gets caught up in it just at the very end. The 67, though, of Nathan Stanley makes it on through free and clear. He, Paul Ferdiani, and Larry Dickerson having a drag race down in the for one last attack, getting underneath him, not quite able to make it stick, having to lift once again. Oh, into exit of turn number 4, down onto the front straightaway here. Who's going to win it with the drag race? It's going to be Timothy Pope. First 3 and 4, 751 with a hefty lead here, about a half a car length as the one gets up into the wall with a run down. 200 feet. It's going to be a close one across the line. Garrett Welsh made it 3 wide on the far outside lane, picking up spots left and right here as everybody fighting for every single spot we go. Coming across the line, white flag. So here we go, final lap. Hello and welcome everybody into this Numb Thumbs Racing League Arca Series race here tonight, and once again we are joined all together in not so sunny because it's nighttime under the lights. California AutoClub Speedway is our location here tonight, and this is going to be a fun, fantastic race. Starting to get a few more people back into their cars here tonight, so our field's steadily growing once again. And this is going to be fun. So let's head on down there and listen to the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back. As always, without some fantastic support, we wouldn't be able to bring you these great races. So big shout out and thank you over there to JP Designs and 3D Prints, as well as Davidson Builders. We thank you guys very much, as well as big thank you to Admin Box there as well. And I got a feeling there's going to be a order coming your way from one of the race controllers in another league. Let's see here. We also have TrackDogsRacing.com, the premier merchandising supplier here. Fantastically done. Thank you guys. As well as big thank you to Track Bar Media as well for that fantastic promo intro. And of course, SimGearCentral.com as well. Thank you guys so much. And of course, your Action Replay sponsor here tonight, the Country Through the Ages. Be sure to go and check them on out. Well, as always, I'm Alan Brown, and I am joined by my two best friends, Mr. Alan English up here with me in the booth. Looks like he's drinking a coffee. That ain't no beer.
Oh, that's not a coffee. That, sir, is a Bloody Mary.
Oh, well, that's even better.
Similar to coffee.
That's even better.
They're both morning beverages, I guess you could say.
Exactly, but we are here once again, Mr. English, at the great AutoClub Speedway. This is one of our favorite tracks. We see a lot of great racing here. I don't think we've really seen too many in the Arca cars here, so I think this one's going to be a little different.
Yeah, I have to say, probably right off the top here, between AutoClub and Michigan and maybe one or two other tracks, that's where our best race coverage happens. So I'm really excited every time I see one of those tracks on the schedule, and here we go. We're in the final stretch before the playoffs start, guys. So as I typed in the promo today, the points are meaning more and more. So we're looking for a good one here at this big 2-miler, and can't wait to see how these guys tackle this thing. I mean, you can run all over the place on this track. It's super wide. It's an old abrasive surface, though. Let Adam talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, man, I'm excited for tonight.
And speaking of which, down there on pit road, Mr. Adam Turner having himself a ball here under the lights in California. Adam, I know it's a tricky 2-miler. It's a long 2-miler, but these cars are able to maintain a pretty quick pace speed here.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty fast, but the problem is, there's no bump drafting in the Arca car, so you got to be mindful of that. You'll get towed up underneath if you try that. That'll cause problems. The track is real abrasive and old and concrete, and kind of not like a huge bank, so we're going to wear out the tires, like English said. The main thing is I love TrackDogsRacing.com, and I have a new prize from them. I don't know if you can see that on the YouTubes, but yeah, TrackDogsRacing.com. Thank you very much.
Came from too. Yeah, this shirt I'm wearing came from TrackDogsRacing.com.
Yeah, so we put in our orders and they deliver.
That's
and
right.
I don't know if you saw, but I do have a favorite driver.
Oh, of course you do.
So, but anyway, 2 fast repairs, 70% fuel, 5 sets of tires, 25 incident points. You're going to be disqualified. 18 incident points. You'll serve a penalty. And it's 66 degrees last I checked on the track, and man, that's going to make for some perfect racing, actually. So, looking forward to it. These guys got a good field tonight. Arca cars. This should be a blast.
And it will be. Taking a look at tonight's race info. This kind of lima bean shaped track coming at you here with some beautiful weather here this evening. So these guys aren't going to be having any problems out there whatsoever. Bringing us down to tonight's key to the race, and it is important to find your line. This track you can probably race probably 6 or 7 different lines around here, and you got to figure out which one's going to work best for you, whether you're trying to save tires, whether you're trying to go fast, and hopefully you can figure out one that does both of them for you.
Yeah, we're going to see some multi-groove racing. One thing about the pit lane here is it's not extremely hard to get onto. The turn isn't that tight, but it's getting your speed down because you've got to get down to 55 before you hit that first cone. So pit entry, not very tricky here as far as geographically. It's just the speed. You're going to have to get it down because these guys, even though these are Arca cars, they're still going to be cooking around here at 190 plus in the draft. So watch for some good high-speed action tonight here in California.
As we join the action here, qualifying underway right now. Chris Klein sitting on top of that board, running a quick lap. He's just finishing up his little run here. Timothy Pope not too far behind him as he makes his way around turns 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, I should say.
Well,
He's good.
Chris Klein, so far the fastest lap, and Brian, you've noticed this. He basically did almost an entire race in practice, so he's been getting some good laps in for the race.
He's been practicing some green flag pit stops too, because we may see some tonight. I think the chances are good that these guys turn enough green flag laps out there that we'll get some guys that have to pit under green.
That and indeed, as we see here, the 73 of Josh Kelleher out there driving around with the face camera up, hailing from Springfield, Massachusetts, and it's fantastic. I end up going down there to see that area of the New England area here every morning.
That's right. Got to make that mail route down there and
I
see
meant
some of those towns.
Yeah, I meant to tell you the other day that I saw a box coming off my truck that was labeled Shreveport on it. So yeah, there's some mail coming your way.
Alrighty.
Man,
That's right across the river from me, but that's where our main sorting facility is Shreveport. So
you don't want to go
comes to
over
my
there.
house, it does go through Shreveport, and yeah, I'm glad they bring it to me, and I don't have to drive into Shreveport to get it, because
It's like a battlefield over there.
it's like the demilitarized zone.
Yeah, you stay on the other side of the river.
Red River's like the 38th parallel.
Yeah. Well, thankfully you live on the nicer side.
I live on the free side, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how we looking with qualifying here? Chris Klein's still on top of the board here, it looks like.
He's
Tim Pope's close, but I mean, 200th off.
Oh yeah, well we kind of it's one of those tracks we do seem to get everybody all up and like together pretty easily here. Everyone runs pretty close to the same time. It's not like a Charlotte where you have to kind of lift and time everything right and all that. For the most part, especially at the starts of these things, pedal to the metal as it looks like they fast forward the session here. So everybody getting their qualifying time in. So early start here as compared to the FAA the other day, getting a late start. As Chris Klein is going to start up here in that pole position, 728. Timothy Pope will start here on his outside there in second. Double O, Joe Bennett with a good qualifying spot here tonight in third with the 5 of Nicholas Coate. Having a great race last week. He's going to start here in fourth. In fifth will be the 76 with the big-ass fans machine of Jeff Ottinger. And on his outside, the 751, Mike Adamson, the silent assassin, starting in sixth. Seventh will be the 53 of the coach, Slim, James Bowden, in that 53 machine. 15, Vince Short will start on his outside there in eighth, hoping to get a better result than he did last week. The 60 of Brian Neff will start here in ninth, with the 1 of Bogus DW, Derek Welsh, starting in 10th.
Yeah, Rich Blake in that 62 car is going to start in 11th place, 12th place America's driver in the 747 Albert Anderson. Josh Kelleher, we saw him on camera there just a second ago, in that 73 car starting in 13th place. Outside row number 7 and 14th, Robert Amaral in the 70. Cole Larson in the 19 will start 15th place. 16th will be Larry Dickerson in the 69 car. Daniel Baker in the 90 will start in 17th place. 18th will be Tom Barish in the double nickel. And Richard Gray, old Michelob out there, the oldest man in iRacing, in the 110 car, starting last place tonight. I don't think he expects to stay there, though.
Are you sure?
No.
Oh, no one ever expects to stay in last place.
Well, Richard might.
Hey, look, Richard, even if it's a track he doesn't like, he's going to stick around and click off laps and make up attrition positions. He's a never quit guy. So
yeah, he's old school. I mean, we give him a hard time for being old, but at least the generation he's from,
greatest generation.
Yeah, they don't quit. So good to see him out here tonight. Good car count too. I think they've changed the rules a little bit, so we'll talk about that. But got some good participation tonight.
That we
Richard,
do.
Richard was a little bit upset the other day. We were discussing, how they're tearing down all the statues from his side during the war. So all the guys that wore the gray uniforms like Richard, man, they're having all their statues torn. I can't believe it.
Well, what's going to get torn down here is that wave flagger man stand. If he doesn't wave that thing, which he does, as we go green flag racing for the first time here tonight in California. The 13 of Chris Klein out with a good start here. Still though side by side with that 728. The 00 still sticking on in there as well on that bottom side. The 5 of Nicholas Coate hanging on in there side by side as they make their way down this back straightaway here, shuffling and bustling through this field. 3 wide action here coming back up towards the tail end of this field. Got that one of Derek Welsh trying to stay to the far outside lane here. He's got the 60 of Brian Neff coming up on the inside here. Is almost some door banging action going on between the 5 and the 13 as the 728 leapfrogs out into the front. You got the 751 of Mike Adamson trying to get a run here on the far outside lane, trying to get around that 15, as well as the 00 of Joe Bennett.
There's room to do 3 wide here. I hope we see more of it. You can do it safely. This is a good wide track. The trouble is, it's kind of progressively banked. I mean, not every groove is a fast one, so look for some different speeds, different tire wear, different car handling in each one of these lanes.
Yeah, but there is several grooves, several different places on the track for the guys to run.
76 up into the wall.
Yeah, the 60. The 76 thought the 60 was coming all the way up to his door, so he kind of ran out of room there and scraped the wall.
Yeah, you see him moving a little bit around the track right now, kind of trying to find what they like, what groove they like. A lot of guys are running up top. That could be the fastest line. We'll find out here shortly.
Thanks for to the folks chiming in over there on the YouTube chat. Richard Gray said, "Let's go AAA." Thank you for that, Richard. We appreciate you. Mike Adamson said, "Good to see you guys. Good to see you out on the track there, brother, in that Napa machine. Good luck tonight." Papa Joe Bennett pulling for his son, 00 Joe Bennett, out there on the track.
We're racing all the way back here in the back of the field. So it's pretty fun to watch. Tom Bear's back here. Cole Larson.
And it's just the beginning, man.
Yep, Richard Gray too. We got a little pack back here that's getting after one another.
Man, that they are. The 60 of Brian Neff watches the 53 of James Bowden and the 1 of Derek Welsh have a little bit of a battle up there. 3 wide here once again with 00 Joe up against the wall. Almost some contact there with the 53 sliding up the racetrack.
Yeah, Derek.
Ooh,
Welch.
we got sparks flying out of that 70 Robert Amaral machine.
Uh-oh, remember, new damage model on these cars, so if he gets a wheel dangling up underneath that car or something, it's just going to throw sparks until he can get that thing back around. Is he still running?
He's still running. It looks like he might have snagged that outside wall, and he's definitely got some right front damage there, and something scraping against the ground because it's leaving a groove and it's throwing up some sparks.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Jack Daniels machine has seen better days there, Adam.
Well, I mean, it was probably like after you've had a whole bottle of Jack Daniels, you start getting the whiskey dents on it. So
whiskey
probably run a little better.
Well, as we rejoin the action up here at the front, we rejoined when it was 3 wide for 2 rows deep here in the middle of this field. The 00 Joe Bennett involved, as well as the 53, the 13, the 60, the 747, the 1, the 76, and the 62, all racing hard for positions here this evening, making their way through turns 3 and 4, coming back down and across the line.
Yeah, Albert Anderson with a different paint tonight, sporting that Country Time Lemonade paint in the 747.
That's old school, isn't it? Old school paint.
People might say, "Where's the American flag?" Well, I'll tell you what. That Country Time Lemonade, that's an American flag.
That's American as apple pie on the 4th of July right there. And another throwback paint right in front of him, the 60 machine of Brian Neff running that Mark Martin paint scheme from back in the day.
Win Dixie.
Yeah, the beef people. The Mellow Yellow machine, the 5, another cool throwback paint. Doing what he can to stay beside the silent assassin up there, Mike Adamson, the 751. That's Nicholas Coate in that Mellow Yellow car. Well, how about Tim Pope, guys? He's are guys going to start kind of watching where he runs?
Ooh,
He's
contact, 60 up into the outside wall.
There goes the Winn-Dixie car, yep. Hard contact, still green here, guys.
And able to keep it straight on the track. Question is, how much damage has he been collecting up on that right-hand side? We'll know here in just a few moments as the 19 Cole Larson tries to trickle on by. Same thing with the 55 Tom Barish, not too far behind them here. Currently only one car a couple laps down. It's the 70 Robert Amaral having to drive all the way back around to get to those pits after dropping that right front. Josh Kelleher is kind of trailing the field here, maybe leaving a little bit of that extra room just in case we happen to see a big one happen up here inside this main group that we got going on up here at the front. And just like that, at the front, lead change going to that 15 of Vince Short, up 7 spots here, making the pass on that 728 of Timothy Pope.
Well, I looked all over the 60. It looks like just a little paint scrape. He didn't look to have any aero damage on the 60 machine. Brian Neff looks like he's going to be okay to stay out.
Yeah, as long as it's fine under the hood, you should be all right. Well, Vince Short making short work of this the lead here. He must have put some laps in to practice.
Yeah, indeed, it's a 62. Rich Blake tries to keep out in front of that 13 of Chris Klein here, running that upper line right now behind Albert Anderson. Also got, of course, DW sitting there. We're going to do a little comparison here as the roll bar camera is kind of peeked up into the inside of the car. Let's see what DW looks like on the face cam. It looks pretty similar to me up there on that steering wheel.
Hey, he's up there on it. But he can hold control. What you got?
53. Double O Joe Bennett. And Nicholas Coate. James Bowden he's sliding all over the track really in that target machine and the Fujifilm target machine. Kind of been watching him. He's making some aggressive moves. He slid up in front of Joe. Everybody saved everything real clean. But kind of like dirt tracking it, you know?
Guys, Vince Short, your biggest mover so far, up 7. But Larry Dickerson in that 69 car, he's on the move. He's up 6.
He's trying to figure out a way to get around that 13 of Chris Klein here. Ooh, boy. Got some good racing action going on here throughout this field. And to you're right, Adam. It's looking like that 53. He's doing some dirt tracking out there. The problem is with an abrasive surface as this track is, that's got to be just absolutely killing those tires.
Well, he's really fighting with Coate in the 5. They're kind of going back and forth. I think it's going to affect their tires. They're going to wear their tires out a little quicker than most, as you see. Look at the 5 coming back on the backstretch. So they've been doing this for a few laps.
Well, the extra fast repair is going to help them out tonight, I think.
Indeed, it's a 53. I thought it was about to get into the back of the 5 there and do a little door stopper action with that ramped front hood, but able to keep it off of them there. Double O Joe Bennett facing off against a 69 charging Larry Dickerson here, battling for some top 10 positions right now.
Well, so far this is the best thing I'm seeing on the track is the 53 and the 5. I know there's other stuff happening, but I'm kind of glued to it.
Well,
Coate is actually taking the lead on him here. So what else you got, English?
Well, a little crossover move from the 00. He just got passed by the 69. The 69 kind of slid up the track on him, and 00 said, well, that's all right. I'll cross you up here.
Ooh, as the 69 gets up into that outside wall, a little bit of a scrape there, but it was a pretty soft impact.
Yeah, light scrapes are okay, but they will add up. We talked about that before earlier in the season about accumulative damage on the suspension parts. So you got to be careful not to scrape it too many times up there. You'll bust a ball joint or a tie rod end or something.
We're going to have to discuss the elephant in the room here. Do you think every time we say California or we're at a California track, they're going to try to tax us? You think that governor out there's going to tax us?
I don't think as long as we're wearing our masks while we're broadcasting and we're not stepping foot on soil, I think we're going to be okay.
Okay, just was concerned. The virtual fuel, too, we're burning here. They're probably going to want a tax on that as well.
Oh, that'll definitely be a carbon tax or something on you. All kidding aside, this track is just wonderful. It's just a shame that it's going to be gone soon. And
one of the best things in California, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Wine country, this.
It always produces great races. Look at the 15 and Pope going at it again. Looks like Vince Short is taking the lead again.
And some great side-by-side action, nose-to-tail action, as well as the 751. Mike Adamson sitting right behind his buddy of Timothy Pope there in that 728 machine. It's a little bit of a bobble coming out of turn number 2 from Pope.
Almost got the wall.
He's able to hang on to it.
Fine beaches in California, too.
Great race.
Water's cold.
Is it?
The 101 is fun to drive on, too. You ever
the one that is,
Yeah.
I thought that was Highway 1.
Oh, it is Highway 1, yeah.
Yeah, the water is super cold out there, Brown. You can't really... It's coming straight down from Alaska, but it is beautiful.
You gotta wait till a El Nino year or something, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's cool. You can get out there and get eaten by one of those great whites if you want. I'll just stick my feet in it personally.
No, the great whites come up here to Massachusetts, man.
Yeah, well, that's where they filmed Jaws. That's where
I saw it on Jaws. Yeah.
Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard. I think they filmed it there, didn't they?
They filmed Jaws 2 in Destin, Florida. I know that.
Or 3 wide up here. 00 Joe on the bottom side. Larry Dickerson and the 62 of Blake to his outside.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? The good thing this track has a lot of space.
These guys are using every bit of it. From the white line to the blue wall.
How about that 90 of Daniel Baker? Not someone we've seen regularly, but this is not his first go around here in these Arca cars in that Sonic machine. Being pretty quiet, but up 4 positions right now and staying with this main pack. I think we might have a little bit of a sleeper here, guys, in Daniel Baker.
I like it, man. Put that Sonic car up there. Love me some Sonic. Breakfast burrito in the morning. That's a good place to stop and get one.
Now this is
Sonic.
This is Hedgehog Sonic, not the not the food.
Sonic the Hedgehog. I thought you meant Sonic the restaurant. You can tell I didn't have my camera on the car. Fired.
Well, Sonic the restaurant is still pretty cool too.
62. Jegs Gearhead machine, Rich Blake, going down the track on the 69 of Dickerson. Not able to clear him, though. Dickerson's going to get that spot back.
That top line, I mean, the guys seem to enjoy riding up there by the wall. It's tough, but if you can hang on to it up there.
Derek Welch just slammed the door on somebody, and they didn't check up. They took a They took a bite out of his back bumper there.
Oh. Maybe there'll be a fight. I didn't hear anything on the radio.
Yeah. Eric Welch moved up the track, saw a big run coming, and I don't remember. I didn't see who it was there. What if that was the 76? I don't know.
I don't know, but we still got some side-by-side action, and a battle for the race lead continues to wage on here up at the front between Pope, Adamson, and Short. Nicholas Coate making his way up on here into that group as well. I think Coate, once when he kind of got free and clear of the mayhem going on behind him, he just kind of kept his head down, stayed in the draft, and made up time lap after lap, and he's now caught back up to the top 3 or 4 guys here.
Yeah, they're all kind of. I think they're going to try to just kind of stick together for now. Stay in the draft with one another and maybe try to save some tires. If they just stay single file and just run around here and click off laps for a while, it would benefit all 4 of them.
That's the one thing about California, though. Once the tire wear becomes a huge factor, it kind of single files out. Although right now we still are seeing a couple packs of decent passing here. So this is pretty fun.
Oof, right here, the battle for 9th is really heating up here.
Well, Albert Anderson, Dickerson, and Bowden, they're all battling it out as well.
So battles being had out here on the track tonight as that 747 up on the high side trying to get around that 69, and he does. As these guys continue to make laps here tonight at this Auto Club Speedway. Coming up now on to lap 25 here in just a second. I got a feeling these guys are probably getting pretty close to their pit stop window here, Adam.
I think you're right, but look at Michael Adamson in the 751. He's moving on up now. Old Mike Adamson, he's got Pope targeted in right here. Pope made a little wiggle. Yeah, we got to be getting real close. We're at 70% fuel here in this track. The tires have to be hurting.
Those guys are teammates up there, so they may be up there just so they can pit together and
True.
come out of the pits together. We'll see here what they decide to do. Yeah, if you wanted to even split it, you want to pit right about now, and then again at 50, and again at 75. But can you make this a 2-stop race? I mean, that's a long way to go.
Ooh,
See if they make it to lap 34.
I think you could. We can only just guess. We haven't done any. Our real lives, unfortunately, get in the way of our testing.
Yeah.
When we have a chance, I'd do like to do the test laps, but only time will tell here.
We'll know for sure when we start to see them come in. Go ahead, Alan.
Double O Joe Bennett there, starting to try to set up the 62 of Rich Blake as the 15 of Vince Short continuing his run here on that bottom side, going side by side here with that 751 of Mike Adamson. Timothy Pope leading this race. Nicholas Coate staying up here in 4th as well, as it looks like Larry Dickerson, after making his pit stop, going that 1 lap down, but he's going to have some fresh stuff here as the 13 of Chris Klein starting to catch back up to this field and maybe think about making some moves as the side-by-side action here between the 15 and the 751 continues to kind of roll on here. The 5 of Nick Coate looking to get into some of that action here, as well as Klein, the next one to come on down into the pits.
Yeah, so it's getting about that time. So 28. What's the math on the next stop? 56. And then you'd probably have to have another. So I think we're going to be looking at 3 stops, right? Definitely.
Yeah, they're not going to make it. They're going to have to pit 3 times here.
Richard Gray up 8 spots. He's calling out his pits. He's going to come down.
Old Michelob and his Michelob paint scheme down there.
I'm just not a Michelob guy. It just tastes like water to me. Now, the old Michelob, remember the one with the hourglass bottle? Real Michelob? That was quality.
I still didn't drink it.
This was a fine product.
I think back then I was still drinking the Budweiser out of the bowling pin bottles. You remember those?
Yeah, I do. Pope is coming on down for his pit stop right now. He just called it out. So is Mike Adamson. Should get interesting.
Indeed. Not the hardest pit road to come on down, but they are trying to get it slowed down from a pretty good amount of speed out there. I mean, even this late into the run, they're still hitting 190 miles an hour. So having to back this one all the way down to, I think it's either 50 or 55 here.
55, yeah. Ooh,
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee, that's a lot of speed to pour off there.
Okay, double Yahtzee. Go ahead with the Yahtzee. I'll
be right
stand by. I'll stand by. Man, that was like twins. All right, Rich Blake is calling out his pits now.
You ain't kidding us. The action starts to kind of wane here for just a quick second as we have ourselves some green flag pit stops. Looks like DW, James Bowden, Ottinger, Blake, and Bennett all coming on down into pit lane. Doesn't look like anyone having too many issues getting on down there. So only 2 people left out there racing on the track. And I know what they're trying to do. That's Vince Short and Nicholas Coate. They're trying to at least get to lap 33 here, Turner.
Okay, he's just now calling out his pits. So I think he's going to get to lap 31, 32.
And going on to 32. And as Timothy Pope driving around him there on that fresh set of tires. So side by side comes the 15 in the 5 down into pit lane.
Coate battled him right there, trying to get on there first.
Coate did a pretty dang good job of it too. Able to get down onto pit road first. Now it's going to be who wins the race coming off of pit road.
And nobody got a black flag. Not on my screen, so everything was clean. Man.
15 of the 5 hitting their pit boxes here as the 751 crosses up the nose of the 69 of Larry Dickerson here. Both drivers completing their pit stops. Adamson, though, on slightly fresher tires, so he's going to start to peel away here just a little bit as both Short and Coate coming back down off of pit road. It looks like Short gets a little bit better of a pit road there. Coate might have done some manual scrape damage fixing there as he was there for a little bit.
And it's all about where you blend, too. If you can blend right in behind some of these guys that are still moving at a pretty good clip and join their draft, it's going to help you.
That's a fact, Rutabaga.
And just like
the Dodges in this pack. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, just like that, English. We now got a little bit spaced out as we typically do with some green flag pit stops and all of that. But we still have some people racing out there. You got the 747. Oh, as we got a car up into the outside wall. That's the 70 of Robert Amaral again having an issue here. Oh no, did he drop suspension here again?
Oh, that thing's in bad shape. He's going to tow. Well, he's got another fast repair. Trouble is, that tow's going to cost him at least another lap or 2. Maybe more. These are fast laps here. Oh, he's done for the night. He put it on the trailer.
Yeah.
Robert Amaral on the 70 machine done for the night here at AutoClub.
Yeah, just not having a good night for that 70 machine and deciding to think he'll have better luck next week. And I think we're headed off to New Hampshire next week. And these Arca cars.
You are correct, sir. Yep.
It's Albert
New
Anderson.
Hampshire, 200 laps.
Albert Anderson trying to make up some time now, getting around the 13 at Chris Klein, moving his way on up into a top 3 position. So how about this? Over in another league, all 3 of these guys are teammates, Pope, Addison, and Anderson, part of that Limitless Esports racing team. But here tonight, they are on separate teams, I believe. Looking here.
I think Adamson's still teammates with Pope here.
Yeah, it looks at Track Dogs. Yeah, Anderson though teammates there with Numb Thumbs Racing League. So we'll see how that one kind of plays out here as this race continues to go along.
The 2 Dodge machines of the 53 and the 76 having some contact there on the front stretch. Mercy. And they're coming up on some slower cars here. See how they sort this traffic out.
Man, it looks like we're gonna kind of shuffle things into one people go down one line, other people go down the other line, and everyone's able to, for the most part, look like get through everything A-okay. You still do have that 69 though, battling with the 00 of Joe Bennett. Brian Neff getting a pass here, or trying to, on the 19 of Cole Larson in the back end of this field. The 60 machine trying to come back from a little bit of an incident that he had earlier on.
Nikki Short out there pulling for Vince Short. Appreciate you being here, Nikki. Thank y'all so much for joining us on the broadcast tonight. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like button for us, and subscribe if you haven't already. We sure do appreciate it. You guys are the reason we're doing this 5 times a week. It's like Daniel Baker telling somebody to go around.
So kind of him.
Looked like that might have been the one of DW and Derek Welch moving up this leaderboard up 4 spots. But Daniel Baker in that 90 up 10 right now, your hard charger of the race so far. Up there in 7th, Albert Anderson still hanging around, just getting passed by that 15 of Vince Short, and back down out of the top 3, but still hanging on here as the 53 and the 5 go back to battling.
Well, speaking of
been at it all night.
Yeah, they have. 53 is back at it with Code again. But speaking of Albert Anderson, you know you can buy an Albert Anderson shirt on trackdogsracing.com. America's driver. Buy all kinds of other fun stuff too.
And some AAA broadcasting hats.
And shirts.
And shirts.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really likes us that much to buy a shirt, but still.
Oh, contact again with the 5.
Oh!
Oh, no.
Oh, goodness. Get the ambulance out for that one.
Ooh, they were battling it again.
Very,
I
very
don't know
heavy
who
damage
to
on
blame.
both of those cars.
Oh, the 53 hit that wall. I don't think there's a safer barrier right there. Didn't look like one.
Right there at the corner, no sir Reeds. Let's go ahead, take a
I think he went up into the 5 just a touch.
take a look what happened. Yeah. 53 got up into the 5 and oh my goodness, hit that inside pit wall extremely hard. Right where it straightens out too. Oh man.
That's deadly, dude.
That had to have been, I mean, it was.
That would
That
have
was
killed
tough.
somebody in real life, man.
I think so.
Is losing losing some of their suspension parts. Goes the 5 and the 53. They both ended up having to I believe take a tow there, and oh my goodness, that was a rough hit.
Double O Joe just got lucky and avoided it. Joe Bennett. Oof. Hey, those two were battling all night. I mean, it's going to happen. I don't know if there's really anyone to totally blame. It's just they're racing. And on the front stretch, it does get a little bit tighter there.
Well, you know what that's going to do? That's going to mess up everybody's pit strategy as we see some cars coming down now.
Yeah, it is going to change the game a little bit.
These guys have 4 more sets of tires, so I mean, not counting the ones, or besides the ones they started on.
So it does look like everybody all coming on down into pit road here. So let's go ahead and watch this battle coming here off of pit lane.
Yeah, they sure did. Do you waste a set of tires here?
Looks like most guys are. I see a bunch of 4-tire stops going on.
Huh.
Well, we're about halfway through this race. They're only, excuse me, for a couple of these guys, it's about a 10-lap difference from if we were to be staying green flag racing here from when they would have come down. And if anything, I think this sets them up a little bit better for the end of the race than how this was actually going to get played on out, as just based on the math, and they were getting 28, almost 30. That would have gotten. You really don't want to be making a pit stop with 10 to go. You basically want to be out on the track that entire time. So I think this is going to set things up a little bit better for them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think they're going to be able to use a whole tank of fuel here, and it'll be a little bit closer to splitting the difference on the end. So, yeah, I think this will be a little bit more even. We shall see. We'll see how it turns out here.
So
Derek Welch yelling, "He's on their apron! He's on the apron!" I don't.
What's the problem here? We have is he Lucky Dog, or I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. Did they add a caution lap here?
Sounded like it, but I don't see it in the race control box. Somebody needs an admin box out here. That's what we need. You know what? Y'all get me an admin box. I'll be the king of these races. I'll do the admin and the broadcasting with y'all.
I don't know if you want that.
I'll make it real interesting. If I feel like it needs to be a caution, I'll just hit the button.
I don't like the paint on the 76 machine.
I don't like his number. He doesn't have his numbers the same as they should be. I'm going to go ahead and black flag him.
His number doesn't match the car. Black flag.
You're kicked. Yeah, you probably don't want to give that kind of power to me. I'm the kind. I might abuse it. Like those guys in DC that abuse their power all the time. I always wanted to be like that. They get to do whatever they want and then tell us how to do what we're supposed to do. I want to be that guy now.
So we're behind the pace car here, getting ready to get things restarted once again. Let's go ahead and talk to one of these drivers. We can talk to the 62 gearhead machine of Mr. Rich Blake. Let's go ahead and part of that Can-Am racing team here. Hey, Rich, it's the guys in booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah.
And it looks like it's a pretty fun race out there, as we always see here in California. Everyone roughly around the same pace. I know we see some guys like Pope and Adamson way up there at the front, but it seems like there's a pretty good game of chess and checkers going on here in the middle.
Yeah, but I keep blowing my pit stops, man. I overshoot my pit stops the last 2 times. I don't know what the heck's going on. So I'm struggling tonight. Well, I struggle at this track all the time anyway. That's okay. I'm having fun.
Yeah, it's a fun race to watch too. We always enjoy watching you guys run here at AutoClub. Good luck the rest of the way tonight. It looks like they added another lap of caution for y'all. I guess they're trying to get people to stack up here, but good luck the rest of the way, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
So many dang team channels here that I had to.
It's hard.
I had to scroll to find out where where his team was, but we got everything all back up and running here. As it looks like we're getting ready to head on out here to go back to green flag racing.
There's a lot of stuff happening. I guess James Bowden had his black flags cleared for whatever reason. So
It may have been like an unsafe pit entry because he hit the pit wall there, and he might have flipped over it just to be in the pit.
I think it was. I think it was. Yep.
Well, either way, here we go, all stacked back up, ready to rumble. Green flag racing here once again in these Arca cars here at Auto Club. Side by side, they make their move down the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. The 728 of Timothy Pope getting a good restart here. The 751 Mike Adamson in the 15 of Vince Short side by side. 747 of Anderson in the 1 of DW up here as well, having a battle side by side. You got the 90 of Daniel Baker nodding things up here, trying to maybe make a move up the inside of the 1. That he will do. So side by side they go down into turns 3 and 4. The 76 and the I believe that is the double O go side by side here as well, with the 60 of Brian Neff not too far behind him. Richard Michelob Gray still hanging around here inside this top 10 as the battle for the lead continues to wage on here between the 15 and that 728 side by side through turns 1 and 2. The 15 on the bottom side, few lanes down from where Timothy Pope is up against the wall, almost scraping it. Oh my goodness, he found some cushion somewhere there.
Well, sorry to bother you there,
yeah.
English, but now that they're stacked back up, we're back to this crazy stuff where they're kind of like free for all out there, trying to pick a lane. You know, you're on I-35 in between Austin and San Antonio, and you're just, you know, you just went through Waco, had a cold one at Papa Joe's. You're ready to roll.
Just trying to get to the San Marcos exit to get off on 123. That's all I'm trying to do. And you know, this is just madness, but it's a blast. I love watching this. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to get down there to Hunter Road and have me a cold one.
We follow here on the roof of America's Driver in that 747 almost. Is he gonna try to take it? No, he is not. Oh, getting squeezed out of room there too. Almost getting up into that outside wall. Thinking about taking that one in the 93 wide, but outside looking a little too tight of a squeeze right now. And Albert changing up his little profile picture there on for the broadcast. It's one of what Ricky Wittenberg did. He entered, you know, into that new AI painting thing. Must have typed in like America's Driver or something, and it's like a racing helmet with the American
draws.
Yeah.
You know what? He sent me a painting from that, and it was really cool. It's called Shooting Dice in Waco, because y'all know I like to do that now.
Yeah.
And it's a cool paint, and I need to share it with you too, and we'll get it on the broadcast. Or I'll use it as my background or something. It looks pretty neat. Ooh, Albert is getting frustrated with the guys in front of him, I think. Just kind of the Sonic car in front of him. He just kind of gave him a little bump.
And everything's all kind of wadded up here as the 728 of Timothy Pope almost gets up into that outside wall here again. He's living, and he's got to be careful and not dying by that outside line here tonight. As that wall looks like it's been ever quickly approaching on that car of his.
Albert
got into it too.
He just lost a lot of ground.
Josh Keller just talked about getting into the wall as well in that Riverside Park Racing Chevrolet. Riverside Park Speedway Chevrolet, should I say. He looks like he's back at it. Albert did the right thing. If you get into that wall pretty hard, you need to stay into that wall until you get time to pull it off.
Yeah,
you jerk the wheel. Yeah, you jerk the wheel left, you're going to get back into traffic and cause a big problem.
Because it comes off all at once. It's like pulling two magnets apart. You know, as soon as you get them magnets apart, boom, that car's going to go flying. Ryan Neff knocking on the back door. Derek Welch here, trying to challenge him here. See what they do as far as mixing up the lines going into turn one.
As
Neff thinking about going low. Let's see what happens.
they continue to try to make up some moves as we're 3 wide here for the lead. The 751 and the 728 get tight up together there on the outside. And Vince Short recognized it, saw that they were both having to check up and slow down a little bit, launched right immediately down underneath him and retook this lead. That 90 of Daniel Baker. I told you, don't be sleeping on him here tonight. He's running that Sonic machine, chasing all those gold rings. He's now sliding his way on up into third.
That was great awareness by the 15 of Short to recognize what was going on between those two teammates, that they were battling and they both overdrove it. And he shot down there, man, like you said. Just great awareness by the 15.
Daniel Baker just showing up. What is he, Buddy Baker's relative? He's just out here to win.
It might be. He's on a tear out there in the 90 right now.
Tires on lap 41 for almost everybody out here. We're at 53. They got to be kind of in the wheelhouse on the tires right now. They're probably feeling
90 up
pretty
into
good
the
out
outside
there.
wall.
Except for him.
Sparks flying from the right side of the 90.
I guess we gave him too much credit. Sorry, Daniel. It happens, though. These things will move on you.
Derek Welch passing the 751 of Adamson to take over third.
Yeah, these guys have been putting in a whole bunch of work here tonight, making these cars run as quick and clean as possible. That outside wall's been getting some attention here, as well as, well, typically that outside line is where you go to save the tires, English, without wasting too much time by super lifting or just trying to coast through these corners. But hey, the only problem with it is it will suck you in and it will grab you.
Well, you're going a little bit farther, too, just riding around the outside, distance-wise, but you're putting less wheel into it. Like you said, it can help you save some tires a little bit and get a better run off the turn. You just suffer a little bit going in, but, I mean, heck, six of one, half a dozen of the other. Everything's a trade-off here.
Yeah, how about this 110 of Richard Michelob Gray, oldest man in iRacing, knocking on a top 10 here, trying to figure out a way to stay out in front of the 13 and the 5 here, who almost banged doors. And then he's trying to get around that 69 of Larry Dickerson.
He did, and he slid right up in front of the 13. Richard Gray with some moves, but looks like Chris Klein's trying to go down there on the inside of the 110, so pretty good little battle there.
Yeah, Chris Klein's starting up at the very front here tonight, and so far has lost some ground and is trying to fight to get it back.
This is an interesting track. I mean, it's 2 miles. It's kind of a tweener track, what we talk about sometimes, and it is a shame that they're actually getting rid of this track and going to tear it down and turn it into quarter-mile track or some crap. California, they could just screw up about anything out there. No offense to you California drivers, but it's true. It's known facts.
Indeed. Well, as we're approaching about 40 laps left here to go, Vince Short, your current leader, as we take a step aside here for some station identification and gotta pay those extra bills with some advertisements here, but we'll cut on back and get you back here with the final few laps of this great race we're having here tonight. And welcome back, everybody, as we rejoin the racing action here at Auto Club. Not a whole lot of bobbing and moving right now. We do have Timothy Pope up back in the lead. You got the 15 of Vince Short there in second, Mike Adamson in third, but he's got the one of Derek Welsh closely in tow with the 60 of Brian Neff there as well. We do have some side-by-side going on here. The 90 Daniel Baker, after scraping that outside wall, trying to make a comeback through this field. Trying to get alongside the 76 of Jeff Ottinger here in that big-ass fans machine, not able to do so, but we got almost some three-wide going on here as the 5 and the 13 almost make contact. Looks like the 13 coming on down and in. He takes a very aggressive line down into pit road and actually overtakes the 90 who was coming down into pit road there himself. And I don't understand why they're coming down here on lap 66 here, guys. I would have thought they would have lasted at least until lap 70, where this would be their final pit stop. But lap 66, I don't think they're going to make it to the end from that.
Yeah, that's really surprising to me. I don't understand the strategy of it unless they're trying to split the end here and use all the tires. Which, unless you get a caution here, the guys that run their full fuel run, you're not going to catch them, I don't think.
Yeah, the guys that are smart with tires and fuel, like Timothy Popes of the world, Vince Short, Adamson, but this guy's, I see him basically running a thing out of gas before they're going to come in. So we'll see. Derek Welch is up there too. He's pretty good at these longer tracks, isn't he?
Yeah, he he's one of those guys that doesn't like plate racing or pack racing, but he's decent at it. Then you put him at a technical track like this, which, let's face it, this pretty much is. I mean, you're going to have to, choose your lift and braking points here, and try to conserve these tires as much as you can. So I think this is more his cup of tea.
Well, look here. I've been informed by Zuckerberg. He's trying to get rid of us, so somebody's unsubscribed to our broadcast. I'm going to find that person and just give him a good questioning and make sure Zuckerberg didn't do it himself. But hit the like button, hit the subscribe. We do got racing all the time here. AAA Broadcasting. We got multiple leagues. Num Thumbs Racing is a big part of the family here, so you got to catch us. when we're racing these other leagues too, there's a lot of fun stuff going on. Hit those buttons, and you'll be notified when all the coolness happens.
Yes,
Double O
indeed.
Joe Bennett just makes a good pass on the 60.
That's another good. We got little packs of like 3 or 4 cars here, and each of these looks like the 5 of Nicholas Coate after going a couple laps down after that big incident. He's trying to work his way back up through this field. The 60 and the 76 go side by side right behind Double O Joe Bennett.
Yeah, Coates right there in the draft with these guys, so he's caught up to the back of them. So he'll join this little party they got going. Oh, here comes the 13 as well of Klein, flying up here with his newer tires.
He sure is.
It's like he's got 40 more horsepower out there. It's just the effect of good rubber out there.
Yeah, they make a huge difference, especially when you're on older tires. It just really slows you down here at California due to the the old surface, very abrasive, and the progressive banking, like you mentioned before. So good to have fresh ones out there, but they don't last forever.
Yeah, they do not. As we continue to go green flag racing here tonight. Final 29 laps underway here. Timothy Pope, Vince Short, and Derek Welsh all out in front, but that's also because we're in the middle of some green flag pit stops here. So the 19 and the 73 go side by side. Same thing with the 55 now, going side by side, looking down low. That's the double nickel of Tom Barish.
Tom trying to make something happen there. Currently at 10th spot, up 8 positions. Tom been on a pretty good run here tonight.
Ooh, as the 90 gets into the back of the 60 there. Both drivers able to hang on to it, but I got a feeling the 60 is going to remember that one there.
That was a difference of 20-something laps in tire wear. That's what it'll do.
Yeah, we have some more takers. Jeff Onger. We didn't even talk about him too much tonight in the 76. He's just having a quiet, steady night.
Y'all happen to see who your biggest mover is right here?
Well, I hate to say it. Right now, we're looking at the 110 of Richard Gray,
Richard
up 13.
Gray.
Heck of a race by Richard. We give him a hard time, but he can race. He loves the bigger tracks too. He's coming
Just
down.
called out his pit, yeah.
Yeah, he sure did.
Timothy Pope in the pit lane.
Yeah, he comes on down. Vince Short, he's not one to short pit anything. He stays on out and is going to try to get another couple laps in here, but now he's kind of dealing with the whole going around on older tires. He doesn't want to stay out there for too much longer. Plus, he's starting to kind of get close there on fuel. He's probably running out and coming on down here in just a minute.
Yeah, he just called it, and so did the one of Derek Welch. They're going to come down, hopefully, and miss some of these guys that pitted previously. They're going to be your last 2 holdouts here. They got some good space between them and the rest of the field, so pretty good decision here to go ahead and come on down.
So final pit stops underway here. The money stop with 26 laps left remaining here. Larry Dickerson last pitted on lap 61. And so he's going to currently out there on the backstretch, and currently he's going to inherit the lead here when he comes back around and all that. But he's not going to make it on fuel, so he's going to have to come back down onto pit lane. So I think the 69's runs of top 10s has possibly come to a close, but you never know. We still have a lot of racing left to get done.
Yeah, and if he does get a late caution, he could come down for a fuel only and still be okay, I think.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
don't
going to be
count 'em
so. Those he'd have to take tires. You can't take fuel only, especially pitting that long ago.
Well, sometimes you
Oh,
got to
yeah.
shoot dice. Got to shoot dice in Waco. You might roll snake eyes. Yeah, I'm pretty good at shooting snake eyes. English, you've seen me roll dice before.
I have. I've seen
I'm
you
pretty
bet
good at
on
it.
snake eyes
Yeah, do pretty well, right?
at the casino and do okay.
Yeah. So
40 to 1, I think. If you bet down there.
yeah, I'm a gambler, man. I gotta, you know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Kenny Rogers told me that when I was like 3, man. Or actually, I was probably like 10 when he told me that. But we got more fans out there right now. Comment, tell us what you think, what predictions are going on out there. I know we got some people out there going for 00 Joe Bennett. Nikki Short's going for Vince Short, obviously. Perfect's going for 00 Joe. So, what's happening out there in the YouTube world?
It's Vince Short after that pit stop now trying to figure out a way to get around America's driver here. He is on some fresh tires as Timothy Pope sets the fastest lap of the race, 40.61.
He Perfect 33 says $100 on a hard 6.
Ooh,
That's what you got to do.
that'll win you some money now.
A couple of 3s is just as hard as getting 2 1s.
But if you're throwing out $100 bills there, you're gonna be that's some real gambling.
That's $4,000 though if you hit on it.
Yeah, I like the idea. We'll try that next time we head over to the casino. English, I'm gonna start just throw 100 on the hard 6, and I'm gonna just put a side 100 on the snake
Well,
eyes.
Make sure you just fill your tank up with gas before you head back home, just to make sure you got fuel.
So I can afford to drive home.
You can afford to get home.
Probably a good idea. Always thinking for me there.
Because you
The
can't
common
sell the
sense.
gas once it's in your tank. You know what I mean? So
You're like the common sense man, you know. You know a
I
little bit
listened
about
to a lot of
everything.
Dave Ramsey years ago, so
Yeah, but I don't
it
think
didn't really help me. But
Yeah, he doesn't actually follow that. He's just using you as a drone to make money.
I never bought any of his stuff. I listened to him on the radio. That's free.
Is it? Is your brain free? Is it rent free up there? He's
Yeah,
taking
when I'm
brain
driving around,
space.
it is. Yeah, I learned a bunch of stuff from him.
Good. Glad you did.
Learning has occurred.
Sonic Machine was in the wall a little bit. Number 6. Who is that in the Sonic? I keep getting confused. on
The
that.
90.
Daniel Baker, the 90. Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog, not Sonic the restaurant.
That's Dickerson coming on down for his final pit stop here. It's the 90 and the 747. Almost go side by side. You also got the 76 of Jeff Ottinger there as well, hanging around. And 00 Joe Bennett still up there as well.
Well,
Papa
people
Joe
are starting.
Bennett.
Yeah, people are starting to comment now. What's he got?
Papa Joe Bennett says the 00 needs him a Michelob out there.
I bet he does.
I'd cool his nerves down some, but he's having a heck of a race right now in that Snap-on Chevrolet.
I see Adam Strom's out there. Yeah, well, that guy's catching crappie in minus 35 degrees.
Yeah, saying evening, fellas. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well, my friend. Hope all is well up there in Minnesota.
God's country up there, from what I'm told. A little cold for me.
Chilly and windy. Yeah.
But I'd like to
They
do
call
the
that
ice fishing.
The land of 10,000 lakes, I think is what
Yeah,
they
it
call
is.
Minnesota.
That's why they're
Yeah.
always fishing up there, and he sends all these great fishing pictures. Kind of jealous about that. It's pretty neat. Fishing in the ice hole. I don't know how that works, but it looks fun.
I'd rather go out to Toledo Bend or something and catch some
Man, I've been
sand
out
bass
there,
out there.
so many times. Yeah.
Or sit on the riverbank down here at the Locking Dam and go snagging for some biggins.
You might snag a body down there where you are.
You might snag a body, yeah. It might not be a catfish body either. It might
No.
be human in
You,
nature.
you,
You never know what you see. All kinds of crap come over that spillway when you're sitting down there at night.
oh, I
Some of it
imagine.
you don't know what it is. I hadn't thought about that in a while. You sit down there and hear something hit the water. I'm like, what in the world just came over the spillway? You see a big dark object going down the river. I don't know what it is. It's dark out here.
Yeah, it's just a body
Might
rolled
be
up
an
in
elm
plastic.
tree, or it might be a yeah. You never know. Might be a 14-foot alligator. You never know. Joe Bennett said it is Friday the 13th today.
Oh,
My wife told me today, she reminded me, it doesn't matter what the calendar said. It's a good day to be alive. If you woke up this morning, it don't matter what the calendar says.
yeah.
Be
Ask
positive.
Elvis Presley's daughter.
Yeah, man. Oh,
She's
76 in the wall there. He's going to lose a position to Albert Anderson,
Yeah.
maybe another one to the 1. Yeah, she was young, too. She was 54.
I don't want to get
4
into the
years old.
conspiracy stuff, guys. I don't want to be
No,
Be that
I don't
guy,
know that-
but-
I don't know that.
It's unfortunate. Let me put it that way.
She
It's terrible.
she'd been ill for many years, and when her son passed away, I think that kind of it exacerbated the situation there. That's never good having to bury a child, and I think that just kind of
Yeah, could have affected her.
that
sure.
kind of done her in.
Adam Strom says it's always 70 and sunny in the ice house when he's fishing.
That's right.
With the little buddy heater and
You know the great thing about ice fishing? You never get seasick or anything. You just sleep right there in your camper. Well, it's
That's
not
true.
a camper; it's a ice castle, but it's like an RV. You just
Yeah,
go to
that's
sleep
true.
there. You don't have to worry about getting seasick or anything.
no waves.
Yeah, no waves. You don't have to worry about falling out of the boat. You can get as tore up as you want and just you can be comfortable.
Oh, I guarantee you
Don't worry
they do
about
up
drowning.
in Minnesota. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they get a little tore up.
You got to cover up the hole at night, though. You don't want to be trying to walk to the bathroom in your ice
No.
house and
Well,
fall through
of
the
course.
hole. You know.
Yeah. I got some stories about the hole in in the fireman's house, the hole where they slide down the pole and all the cool stuff they do.
Still have that?
There's a few that do, and I've got
We
some
have
stories
single
about.
story. We have single
people
story
falling through it.
firehouses here now.
Well,
Oh man, that'd be terrible.
yeah,
Sleepwalkers.
it's happened.
Ugh.
It's not good.
With 14 laps now remaining, Timothy Pope a pretty commanding lead right now over Vince Short and Mike Adamson, about 6 seconds almost there. Vince Short sitting in second, Adamson closely behind him there. Jeff Ottinger gets around the 13 in the 747, so he slides up into a 6th place spot. He's got about a second and some change, trying to catch up to DW, who's currently chasing down that 00 Joe Bennett machine, as Albert Anderson looks to maybe try to go around on the outside here, the 13 of Chris Klein.
I'm glad you brought us back to racing. Me and Turner kind of went on a 10.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we do that, Brown. If you ever nonsense, just let us know. But hey, the viewers are watching the race. It spreads out a little
I
bit.
know. I don't want to say it.
We kind of get lost in the sauce, maybe. I don't know. Just talking about stuff that I don't know. People probably don't really care about, but
Adam Straub says there are inserts that cover the holes. Yeah, I've heard of those.
oh,
And then P Perfect. This broadcast is going NC-17. Covering up the hole at night.
covering the whole.
Golly.
Yeah.
Yeah, ice fishing is one of those things I've never done. I want to try it one time, but I want to do it in luxury. You know, I don't.
Yeah, I don't
I
want.
don't want to be out there
luxury,
roughing
of
it in
course.
something the size of an outhouse. You know.
No,
Put me in that big fifth wheel thing that you need 8 feet of ice to support the weight. That's what I want to be in.
Yeah.
If I can't pull it out on the ice with my 25,000-pound dually, I don't want to go fishing there.
Oh, I'd get one of those little pop-up things and try it. I bet it'd be pretty fun. You don't need a cooler. You don't have to drag a cooler out there. You just put your beer out there. Just set it down. You don't even have to put it on ice because it's literally on ice. So I see the advantage.
Sure.
As we're closing in on the final 10 laps of this race, DW closed in on that 00. Joe Bennett makes a pass up the inside lane there, so DW now up into 4th.
'60 and the 55 side by side. That is not for position, or is it? No, it's not for position.
It is not, no. A few laps of a differential there, so 55 getting a little wiggly up there on the outside lane, but everybody is A-OK. The 53 of James Bowden trying to fight back after his crazy impact there with that inside pit wall.
Yeah, he's doing all right out there in that Dodge Fujifilm machine.
That's a throwback. Who run that paint?
You know what? I tried to think of it. Last time we saw him run that paint, I couldn't think of who it was. I did not look it up.
Yeah, we had a Fujifilm car and a Kodak car back in the day when you remember that?
Sterling Marlin ran that Kodak car for a while.
You took your film to the
1 hour photo, the Fox photo. No, I used to go to Fox Photo.
Yeah, they had the kiosk, basically like a drive-through in the parking lot somewhere. You could just drop it off.
In the mall parking lot it was, where I live.
Yeah. Yeah. Different times. Film. Who uses film anymore, you know?
Well, there's something to be said about film. I don't know if you remember this a few years ago, but everybody was using digital cameras except for the guy that was taking pictures of the president talking to bystanders on the street one day, and ended up, one of them was Monica Lewinsky, and everybody else had gone through the photos and said, well, nothing to see here. But this guy had all the negatives. So he was like, oh, I know who that is. I've got him on film somewhere. And sure enough, he was the only guy, the only photographer that had it, the only guy in Washington still taking pictures with a film camera.
No, film is definitely a better medium, but it's just kind of going away, unfortunately. How do we get on that?
Talking about NASCAR paint scheme.
Yeah, I know. I'm
still trying to find.
Random.
Here it is, right here. Ken Huff ran it. Casey Mears was probably the one that ran it the most.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
In Arca, that scheme was run by Ken Huff in the 41.
What are you seeing out there, Brown? Anything exciting? Like, is it mind blowing at all? Anything right now? It looks like Cole Larson's trying to make a move on the 73. I don't even know if that's for position though.
It is. That will be for position if he's able to get it done. Fighting for 11th and 12th right now. Anderson was able to get around Chris Klein, but Chris Klein now getting some pressure by the 62. Rich Blake coming up here around the outside. About 5 laps left to go. Timothy Pope with about a 6.5 second lead right now.
And if he doesn't do anything to completely screw the pooch here, Richard Gray's going to pick up another top 10 tonight.
That would be good for him.
Yeah, he's got some distance on the car behind him, the 73 Josh Kelleher. No mistakes, Richard. No mistakes. 7-3 got a cool paint job too, man. That's a racetrack paint. Neat. Side by side with the 19 of Cole Larson, as you mentioned there, Mr. Brown, and they are not through with it.
No, they are not. Still side by side they go.
$60 a Neff saying, I'll take a piece of that. He kind of tries to stick his nose in up here, even though he is 3 laps down. He wants at least a little bit of that draft.
Yeah, I got my Federal 15s kicking in. I gotta get something real quick. I'll return.
All right, as the racing action continues here. Oh, double Joe Bennett. Got to be careful with that outside wall. He's got the 76 Jeff Ottinger coming up behind him here with 3 laps left to go. And it looks like Ottinger sliding up on the inside does steal that spot away. But how about this? You got the 751 Mike Adamson with about a half-second edge over the one of Derek Welch here with 3 laps to go. Trying to hang on to a final podium spot here.
Yeah, Derek's going to have to really get up there and find another gear or something here to get up there and challenge Mike Adamson for that podium position. Meanwhile, up front, Tim Pope at 728. Huge, comfortable lead, almost 7 whole seconds. He's not even mirror driving, folks. He's just sitting there looking at the relative box saying, well, as long as I got over 5 seconds, I'm just going to kind of pedal this thing around here. Vince Short in second place. What a race for him, up 6 spots. This thing holds out. What do we got? About 2 more laps here?
About 2 more laps as Timothy Pope comes around the turn number 4 there and back down across the line. White flag is waving, so no more cautions. We only had the 1, but no more here tonight as the 69 on some fresher tires goes and gets his lap back there. Side by side race in action here, battling for 3rd though. This is where the kind of the race inside the race is happening. The one trying to sneak around the outside of that 751. That one was running a little bit quicker than Mike here in the final stages here, and he's able to overtake him going down the back straightaway as Timothy Pope comes around turns 3 and 4. With nobody in sight, he's going to drive away your race winner with Vince Short coming up there in second. Derek Welch walking home with the 3rd. You also got a good battle going on right now. As fireworks happen, there's still a racing going at happening right here between the 55 and the 19 down into turns 3 and 4. This is for a top 10 spot here.
That's the one I've been watching here the past lap. It looks like Tom Barish might not have enough to get up here and continue to battle Cole Larson.
And just a little shy, coming back down across the line.
Well, how about this? Richard Gray in the 110 with an 8th place. Congrats to him. He's up 11 spots. Your hard charger tonight. If you remember back when we used to interview the hard charger as well. I don't know if that's something we want to try to revive or not. Well, little shenanigans on the pit lane, some spinning out of some of the competitors.
That was fun.
What a win for Pope. And
he heads on out there to do his little Polish victory lap. I can't say a little one. He's flying around there, getting up to 107 miles an hour. That's
going backwards for a car that's not set up to go that direction. That's respectable.
Yeah, it is. So let's go ahead and get some of these driver interviews up underway. Starting us off will be the one of Mr. Bogus himself, Derek Welsh, coming home in third with that last lap pass here on Mike Adamson to find your way up onto that podium. And I think your face is saying it on there, DW. It was a long and grueling one for you guys.
Yeah, I'm sweating on this one. I don't need to have this dang sweatshirt on. I know that. Good Lord. Yeah, I was trying to conserve tires that second run out there. I was going a little too hard, but I was able to get myself to the front, battle with the top three a little bit. But I rode on those tires too hard, trying to stay up, and I should have been just racing my own race, and that's what I did on my last stint right there. I was able to at least get a podium out of it.
Well, we get your thoughts on the race next week, and I want to tell you congratulations on the podium tonight. But talk a little bit about the excitement that's going on over there at Numb Thumbs Trucking. I guess the company's blowing up over there.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride the last couple of weeks for the trucking business over there in Numb Thumbs Gaming, man. I don't. They've been coming in left and right. I think we picked up. I don't know. 20,
close to
20,
25 drivers.
yeah,
20,
25,
23?
25 drivers in a week and a half, and that's crazy. I mean, I've never seen that before. But hey, we got a group of guys over there that's willing to, put the effort in to go get the guys out there, and I think they got themselves in the top 16 in the world in miles right now, and that's pretty good.
Big convoy tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully we get a big convoy tomorrow, and I'll be out there. I don't really want to, I do this in real life. That's the last thing I want to do is drive a dang truck, but I'll do it for the community. Gotta bite the bullet every now and then.
Well, speaking of community, you rallied the troops together. You got a good field tonight here at AutoClub, so I thought we had a good showing. AutoClub kind of spreads out a little bit. It makes for a lot of good racing at certain periods of the race, but sometimes it spreads out. But you did a great job, coming up 7 spots. Congratulations on that. And do you have anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, we do have a bunch of great guys. This is a free lead, it's hard to keep. You get guys just coming here, they finding somewhere to race, just race for a little brief moment of time. And we do have them guys that constantly race here every week, but we started off with 50 drivers in this league, so I mean, I'm like asking myself, why am I having problems filling the field up when I had 50 drivers sign up? But free lead people come and go. They probably find a paid lead somewhere else or whatnot or whatever they done. But we're implicating a new playoff system. We're going to try out in this league, so I think that's why we got a little bit better field tonight for the free league. We're going to try it out here, see how it works out, and plus it's going to be a little bit more entertaining for y'all guys up in the booth. Watching people battle it out. You're going to have top 10 cars on the last race of the season battling out for a championship. I mean, you can't get more exciting than that. And but yeah, I like to thanks all our sponsors. Thanks you guys, and thanks Numb Thumbs Gaming and Numb Thumbs Trucking.
Awesome. Well, good job here tonight, DW. Congratulations on the podium finish here, and can't wait to see what you guys can do at the Magic Mile up there in New Hampshire here coming up next week.
I tell Vincent to kiss my butt.
We'll pass that along, sir.
As we move up that one spot, we're going to slide on up and talk to tonight's second place finisher, Mr. Vince Short in that 15 machine. Before I forget, we do have a message to pass along from DW saying, please pucker up and kiss the keister. Don't know whether or not you guys have something going on between that, but you know what? You had a pretty good finish here tonight, finishing in second, but having a pretty solid race against Tim Pope there until, the longer runs started to kind of pop out and the green flag pit stops, and that's kind of seemed like when Tim would kind of drive away from y'all.
Yeah, I kind of babied it. I didn't get a lot of practice, so I babied it going into the pit entrance, and I knew that's where it was going to cost me because I knew me and Tim were pretty tight most of the race. But I knew when it come down to pits, that's why I was stretching my fuel. I never went full throttle to the last segment. I was probably 95% the whole race up to that last tire change and fuel up. But backing off into the pits, I knew that's what was going to cost me eventually, and then I had to make up the ground to catch up to him. By the time I caught him, I didn't have anything left.
Well, next week, New Hampshire, whole different animal. That place is nuts. It's a short track, but it's not. It's a it's a intermediate track, but it's not. There's a lot of things it is. But one thing is that it's not is an easy place to pass. So, what are you guys looking at as far as prep for New Hampshire next week?
I think the biggest thing I've learned there, last couple races there, I've been pretty strong, and I hated that track with a passion. I usually don't like the short flats.
I don't like watching it either on TV. I just
but
don't.
yeah, once it came around though, once I started getting used to it, I think the biggest thing my buddy told me was to use my dirt tracking methods, which is throttle control. You got to be patient on that track. You got to stay off that throttle.
Well, you kind of stayed off the throttle, sounds like here, and got yourself a podium finish. Great job. You had some fans out there watching you. You got any shout outs or anything?
First of all, my sponsor, Track Bar Media, my wife, she's my biggest, huge fan. You're one of your guys' biggest fans. Patrick Davis, he's usually in there watching. My daughters, my brother and my nephew, Kyle and Landon. My granddaughters, Kira, Raylyn, and Amari. My daughters, Ashley, Raylee, and Shelby. Holler Boys Racing TV. Two Blessings Thrift Store. Numb Thumbs Racing, one of the best leagues around, man. It's the evidence is there. Derek Welch for putting on some really good events, man. I mean, he works his keister off to get all this stuff done and done right, and then to bring some of the best broadcasters in, man. I really appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, man. That means a lot to us. It really does.
Yes, sir. And well, congratulations there, Vince. Another podium finish for you here tonight up there in second. Great job. And we look forward to seeing you guys back out here in action once again next week up there in New Hampshire.
All right, guys, you take care. Congratulations to Tim and Derek on the podiums. Have a good night, everybody.
And speaking of Tim, we move on up to our final interview of the evening, and that will be the 728 of Mr. Timothy Pope, out there as always running strong as ever, Tim, as you have a great race here and pick up a big time win. It looked like especially essentially just the one caution coming out there right around like the midway point. It was the green flag pit stops as the kind of the big key here tonight.
Yeah, some of those guys, I guess, had pit stops, just missed them a little bit there. Couldn't get into them quite fast enough, and it seemed to help me out a lot there. We pull a good gaps on.
It was good to see the Track Dogs Racing.com Chevrolet out there running just as good as ever. We were kind of convinced there for a while that maybe some guys were going to make this a two-stop race. But the farther we got into it, the more we realized that wasn't going to happen. And everybody had to make at least 3 stops for fuel. Did you do a lot of fuel testing at all, or do you run Crew Chief or any of the programs that help you out on fuel mileage? There's a bunch of different ways that people do it. What is your approach on trying to calculate fuel mileage and what you got to do in a race?
No, I didn't do any runs, but yeah, I have Sim Hub on like a little 5-inch dash display on my steering wheel here, and it's got a fuel calculator on it. It tells me how many laps I got left and whatnot, how many gallons.
Well, great job again tonight. Did a lot of saving of the tires, saving of the fuel. Won this thing. Congratulations. And who would you like to thank tonight?
You guys for the broadcast, Numb Thumbs putting them on. Everybody on this team.
Awesome. Well, great job here once again, Tim, tonight, picking up the race win. And we look forward to seeing you guys back out here in action again next week, coming from New Hampshire, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, and so with that, that is everything here as we start to wind things on down. Of course, Auto Club, man, always a great place to come watch a race.
Yeah, I think we'd have a little bit more fun if we had about 10 or 12 more cars. But hell, the 19 that we had out there tonight put on a pretty good show. Only the one caution, as you mentioned earlier, with that really deadly looking wreck between Slim Bowden and the 5 of Nick Coate. That was a crazy wreck. But other than that, pretty dang clean out there. Great racing, always produced by Auto Club and this league especially. So yeah, man, I still had fun tonight. It was a great time.
Yeah, good race. California is always fun. Looking forward to next week.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver ended up finishing up here tonight with Timothy Pope picking up that big time win. Excuse me. You got the 15 Vince Short up there as well, coming home in second. You got the one of DW, Derek Welsh, coming home in third. All good races there. Same thing with the 751, Mike Adamson finishing there in fourth. The 76, Jeff Ottinger. He was up and down and all around, but ends up finishing right where he started here tonight in fifth. So it's a pretty solid run there from Jeff. You got the 00, Joe Bennett, wishing he could have got a few more spots back there, but able to walk home in sixth. With in the 62 of Rich Blake, we talked to him a little bit earlier on in the race, finishing there in seventh. In eighth, we got the 110, Richard Michelob Gray, your hard charger of the race, up 11 spots to finish there in eighth spot. So good job, Richard. You got the 73, Josh Kelleher, out there riding around, getting caught up in that outside wall a couple times, but able to hang on to it for a ninth place finish. With the 19 of Cole Larson, surviving to hold on to a top 10.
Double nickel Chevrolet of Tom Barris will finish in 11th place. 12th place, Larry Dickerson in the 69. The last car on the lead lap tonight. The first car one lap down is the 747 America's driver Albert Anderson, finishing in 13th place. 14th will be your pole sitter, Chris Klein in the 13. Not the result he wanted out there tonight. He'll drop 13 spots. The 90 of Danny Baker, up a couple spots there, also one lap down, finishes in 15th place. 16th, Nicholas Coate in the 5, 3 laps down, involved in that wreck with James Bowden in 16th place. 17th, Brian Neff in the 60 machine, that Winn-Dixie Chevrolet. And then the 53 of Bowden, we mentioned him, also 3 laps down in 18th place. And Robert Amaral in that Jack Daniels car, the number 70, several incidents by himself out there today. And man, that new damage model is just brutal. It is tough on these drivers when they smack the wall just a little bit and bust a spindle or something. And you know, you only get 2 fast repairs in this league, so once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, indeed. So that is your field here tonight. We thank you all for tuning in and watching, as you guys are 100% the reason why we do this and have such a good time of doing it. So thank you guys so much. Be sure to... What's up? Okay. Speaking of, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell, as we are live 5 nights a week, so you don't miss a single second of this great racing action. Also, be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you do enjoy it, so that way the YouTube algorithm knows that, hey, people like this, we need to share it more and more with some of these people, so and grow this great community. So thank you guys so much, as well as a big thank you to Davidson Builders, of course, always on board here. Same thing with JP Designs and 3D Prints. Thank you guys so much. Of course, big thank you over there to Admin Box as well. Thank you guys for jumping on board here this season. Also, a big thank you to SimGearCentral.com. Some great button boxes over there. Be sure to go check them on out. Thank you to TrackDogsRacing.com, your premier merchandising supplier of NTRL and AAA Broadcasting. Thank you, Josh, and TrackDogsRacing.com. And of course, big thank you there to Track Bar Media as well for jumping on board here this season. And of course, big thank you to Country Through the Ages, your action replay camera that really only made about one appearance here tonight, but still, thank you so much there, Cooker, for jumping on board here and giving us some great stuff to watch here in these leagues. So that does it here tonight for us. Coming up on Sunday night, we got ourselves a race coming up from... Oh, I'm looking at November. I need to be looking at January. That will be Las Vegas in those Xfinity cars for 140 laps. So that is going to be a heck of a race. That's turned into one of our favorite tracks there as well. A lot of great action to be had. So until Sunday, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We're signing off.
We gone.
See ya.